This is problem number 8 from section 4.4. It says solve by factoring. And remember, in this section, we're only worried about the real zeros. So we're not going to actually worry about any of the complex right now. So if we run into a complex situation, we're just going to kind of ignore it. Now, you'll see we have 4 terms, and not all 4 terms have n in it. So anytime you run into a situation where you have 4 terms and not all of them have n in them, we're going to probably try, especially if they say factoring, to do factor by grouping. So let's say factor by grouping. So when you factor by grouping, we're going to take n cubed minus 6n squared minus n plus 6 equals 0. And we're going to basically split this into 2 little pieces here, and we're going to factor stuff out of them. So what can we factor out of n cubed minus 6n squared? We factor out n squared. So this will be n squared, leaving you with n minus 6. And we can factor out of this one and I tried to make this, I want to make this one in here the same as this. So I factor out a negative, I'd get n minus 6. So let's take a negative out, minus, and we'll say minus 1 because we're taking a negative 1 out technically, n minus 6. Now because we have n minus 6 in both terms, this is all one term because of the multiplication. It's binded by multiplication there, and this is binded by multiplication here. Because n minus 6 is in each term, we can actually factor n minus 6 out. And when we take n minus 6 out, all that's left is, right, this factors out, reverse foiling, n squared minus 1. So we end up with n minus 6 times n squared minus 1 equals 0. That's the factor by grouping part. At this point, we're going to use a zero product property, so n minus 6 equals 0, or n squared minus 1 equals 0. Add the 6 over, you get n equals 6, or add the 1 over, we get n squared equals 1. We do the root of each side, and we end up with n equals, remember plus and minus here, we do root 1, we get plus and minus 1. So the solutions are n equals 6, or n equal 1, or n equals negative 1. That's how you do the factor by grouping.